Ladies and gentlemen.
Two, one. Welcome back
to episode 7.
Wow.
Time's going by fast.
I feel like we say this every week, but like,
holy shit.
we're back and better than ever.
Alright, today our episode is called Breaking Barriers, Overcoming Self-Sabotage and Embracing Your Vulnerability. I feel like everybody just self-sabotage. Like, you don't mean to do it, but you just do it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, who would want to do it on purpose?
Yeah, you never know. There's some crazies out there.
I guess. I mean, I wouldn't want to.
Me neither, but
I mean, I definitely have.
yeah.
Like, not on purpose, but I have, unfortunately, and I'm sure
Everybody
you
else
have
has.
to.
And I feel like, too, like, everybody's like, what even is self-sabotage? And I feel like it's basically your actions and your behaviors that, like, interfere with your goals, your well-being, your relationships, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And, like, you might not know you're self-sabotaging yourself, but you could be self-sabotaging yourself.
Yeah, it's like, I feel like just like an unknown factor.
Mm-hmm.
Majority of the time.
We have some things that we wrote down that could be causing you to self-sabotage, I guess you could say. And, like, the number one thing I wrote down is, like, comfort eating. Like, I feel like when you're, like, stressed and, like, you have a lot of stuff going on, like, people eat. Like, a lot of people, like, their way of coping with things is eating, and then at the end of the day, they're like, I don't like the way I look, I don't like my weight, but then they don't do anything about it.
It's like a vicious cycle.
Yes. It's kind of like, oh, today was a hard day of work. It was terrible. I'm going to go eat everything in the house. And then later that night, you're going to feel like shit. What?
Are you having an exorcism?
I can't
It's almost spooky season.
I know. I can't chew gum for too long, and if I do, I, like, start to gag on it. If that makes sense.
Okay.
But back to, like, comfort eating. People just, like...
I never even really thought of that as, like, self-sabotaging.
Like, you're
honestly.
Like, you're self-sabotaging, like, because then you're going to go back and be like, why did I eat that much? Why did I do that? Now I'm going to, like, now how many pounds did I gain? Or, like, I'm going to...
Which shouldn't matter.
It shouldn't. But, like, some people who, like, don't, like, they're like, oh, I want to lose weight, but then they can't really lose weight because they just always go back to their comfort eating, their way of coping with things. It's definitely, like, you might not know. Like, I know I'm a big comfort eater. Like, when it depends. Either if I'm stressed or upset, like, it's either I won't eat, like, I don't have an appetite, or I will eat, and I'll eat everything and anything, and it's just, like, why?
But I also feel like that's just, like, kind of, like, within society. Like, if you're bored and there's nothing to do, like, you want to go eat?
Yeah.
Like, do you want to go out to eat? Like, I feel like that's just, I mean, it doesn't really relate, but I mean, I guess it kind of does. Like, it's just like a societal, I don't think that's a word.
That isn't.
Society thing, I guess you could say.
Another one is self-medicating. This is a big one, especially with today's day and age. It's like alcohol. Like, people drink.
Okay, like, now that you say that, I agree with you. But at first, I was going to disagree with you for a second.
But, like...
Because, like, in my head, I was physically thinking, like, medication.
Well, like, some people use drugs to not, like, you know... But, like, alcohol is definitely a big one.
Oh, yeah.
Like, people drink so that they don't feel things, but then they do stupid things when they drink.
Which is, like, another thing. I was just saying, like, it's a society thing. Like, oh, I've had the worst day, like... I'm getting drunk this weekend.
Yeah,
or I'm going home and downing a whole bottle of wine.
Yeah, like it's like, I feel like it's a social norm to be like,
that's the word I was looking for.
It's like a social norm to be like, I had a hard day at work, I'm gonna pour myself a glass of wine. But in reality, like, at the end of the day, like, a lot of, like, young kids do this. Like, I know when I was younger, like, I was like, this week was terrible, I'm gonna get plastered at a college party all weekend, like, you know what I mean? So, like, it's just kind of, like, it's the norm, but, like, then again, like, kids do stupid things, and you wake up the next morning, and you regret, and then you're literally self-sabotaging yourself.
And that you feel like crap.
You feel like shit. It's like, why did I drink that much? Because now, like, you have anxiety, you, like, feel like shit, you don't, like, you just feel 10 times worse than you did
and, like,
before
you're
you started
worrying
drinking.
and you're like trying to think back. Oh, well, like I remember doing this last, but that was at, I don't know, 10 o'clock, and we didn't get home till 3 o'clock.
Yeah,
Like,
and, like, that's the thing. Like, I know, like, I get the worst anxiety ever where I'm like, did I talk too much? Did I say stupid things? Like especially when I'm, like, around, like, people I normally aren't around when I
yeah,
drink, and I'm like, oh my god, did I do this? Like, was I stupid? Did I sound stupid? Like, and it's just like, you're basically like, you shouldn't have gotten that drunk because now, like, you feel and, like, you look like an idiot at this
yeah.
point.
I don't really get like that. I don't think. I never really thought that much into it. But I don't really get hungover. It's very rarely I'm hungover.
It's not even if I'm hungover. It's just I wake up the next morning and I just have really, really fucking bad anxiety. And I'm just like, why? It happened a lot in college, like, all the time. And I'm like, what did I do? Did I say anything stupid? How did I act? And then I'm, like, looking at videos and Snapchat stories, and then, like, I see myself doing something so stupid. I'm like, oh my god, like, now this is making it 10 times worse. Yeah. But I feel like alcoholism, like, not alcoholism, but alcohol is, like, definitely a big self-sabotage. Like, you just, like, if you had a hard day of work, like, I get, like, going out having drinks, but you don't need to get plastered. You don't need to get blacked out drunk to just feel okay, because there's so many other, like, natural and, like, healthier ways to cope with things.
Yeah, like, binge watch a show.
Write in a fucking journal. Like, journal.
No. Watch a show.
Oh,
we don't got time for writing.
It's just, you're sitting there watching a show, you could journal at the same time.
Okay, I guess we can compromise on that one.
This one's a little deeper one.
Oh.
Self-injury. Like cutting oneself. Like, people do that.
Yeah.
Like, why, like, because of how they feel, like, they just, like, think really, like, in the moment and not what the after effects are going to be like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because, like, say somebody does it on their arms and you have cuts on your arms and, like, somebody asks about it and it's kind of just like, you have to explain it and it's kind of awkward and uncomfortable and you don't want to have that type of stuff.
And I do understand that aspect of it, but I feel like that is more of kind of like a cry for help.
Yeah, also,
in a way.
Definitely is.
But going off of the self-injury, I would say, because, like, also, like, oh my god, I can't even talk. Within self-injury, in the aspect of sabotaging yourself, I feel like if you go run, like, 10 miles, but, like, you're not a runner, like, you're going to be feeling it the next day.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to be,
if that makes sense.
No, yeah. Like, it doesn't have to be, like, cutting yourself. It could be like that. Like, you don't run, but you're just going to go run. Or it could be, like, just not eating and, like...
Yeah, well, here's a good example. Last night at practice, my prep team, I was trying to explain to them, like, how to do a back walkover and land in a lunge. So I did a back walkover last night, which I knew I should not have done a back walkover because I'm way too old to be doing that. And literally this morning I woke up and I felt like every single muscle in my stomach, like, ripped in half. So I guess, like, that's an example.
Yeah, you self-sabotage yourself.
Self-sabotaging
myself. You self-sabotage. And
I'm not going to lie, I did make my junior coach spot me for it because I was afraid I was going to fall on my head. I didn't, though. We're all good.
I don't even think I could do that. I don't even think I could push up into a bridge.
It was pretty good. I had straight legs.
Did you have pointed toes?
I don't know.
Probably not. Your feet were probably flat.
Oh, look at this. I made it. I was like,
Did you go back like this too? Or did you go back?
My eyes were closed. I don't know. I was scared.
Don't do this at home. Cheating. It could be cheating. It could be cheating on your significant other. It could be cheating on a fucking test. It could be cheating. What other things can you cheat on? Test, schoolwork, your significant other.
Yeah.
Like, you're just in that moment and you're like, oh, well, my relationship has been really, really bad. Or, oh, I didn't study for this test, so I'm just going to cheat off the person next to me.
I also feel like plagiarism, like, kind of goes into that.
Yeah.
I know, like, that was, like, a big thing in, like, high school and college, like plagiarism. But like, so I guess this is like a big, like, I guess example of I can't even say it, self-sabotage, because like you kept putting it off and putting it off and putting it off. So you were self-sabotaging yourself, and then you ran out of time, but you had to turn something in.
Let's go to ChatGPT.
Yeah, and like, but you know that you're going to get in trouble for it, but like you do it anyway, and then you're sabotaging yourself in like a lot of aspects.
Because your college career, you could be suspended from school, like you could get scholarships taken away, all that. It's just like,
and like I can only imagine now because like AI is so big, and like it wasn't really like, I mean, they had like a bunch of websites, but now you can friggin' go to your My AI on Snapchat and ask them to write you an essay, and it'll friggin' write you an essay. And people do that.
I wish they had it though.
Oh my god. Do not do that.
No, don't. But there's also plagiarism websites where you can put papers in to see if any parts like plagiarized. Especially with like research papers, because of like taking like actual words
like
cited.
The citing and the source
into it. Like you could actually put it in and it will tell you how much it's plagiarized and everything like that. And like usually when you do a research paper, it should be more than like 5 or 10%, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. But that's definitely like a big sabotage, like cheating in general. Like why are you going to cheat on a test that just at the end of the day, if you get caught, you're going to get a big fat 0 and there's going to be other consequences, when you could just try to see what
and
you know,
put the work in,
and just like try to do it that way, because most of the time the person that you're cheating off of doesn't always get the answers right.
No. Or sometimes like they might just, if they know you're cheating off them, they might sabotage you and put the wrong answer on purpose, and then once you turn yours in, go back and change it.
That's very
true. You don't know.
You never know. And especially with relationships too, like, oh, like my relationship's not good right now, I'm gonna go cheat. Yeah. Or I'm gonna go, hit somebody up. And then at the end of the day, it's like you're either gonna get caught or you're just gonna feel real guilty.
Yeah.
So
then going off of our episode, like one of our last ones, social media doesn't help.
No. Social media does not help at all. Procrastination. I'm a big procrastinator.
I'm guilty.
Guilty as charged. But I feel like out of all the ones that we've like talked about so far, procrastination is like the number one. Like you're just self-sabotaging.
I didn't realize that was the next one, and I kind of already went into it.
No, you did. Like you literally like that. You could procrastinate literally anything. Doing the dishes, doing your laundry, Miss Harley, is a big procrastinator.
No, this is gonna sound really dumb, but I procrastinate on getting dog food.
That's animal abuse.
No, it's not. I promise. But like, if it's late at night and I realize they don't like, or not late at night, but like if I already came home from work for the day and like I realize I don't have any, or like there's enough just for them to eat tonight, like instead of going to the store like right then and going to get it, I'll wake up early the next morning to go and get it before I go to work.
Harley,
just being honest.
Yes, you are.
They eat, I promise. My dogs are very well fed. Mally's a fat girl.
Mally is a fat girl, but is she a fat girl because she doesn't get fed?
No.
Just fucking.
Do not call like animal welfare on me.
I'm just fucking with you.
I don't even know if that's a thing.
It is Animal Welfare Association. That's where I took Bentley to get his shots.
Yeah, but they don't come and knock on your door
it's
give me your dog.
I just almost said DIFUS. It's DIFUS. DIFUS is for kids. What? I was gonna say like it's called DIFUS, but DIFUS is for kids. Like DIFUS. My brain's not working. See, we're procrastinating the procrastination. I'm talking about procrastination. But no, like Harley said, that's procrastination at its finest, and she's self-sabotaging herself because she could just go and get it right then and there instead of having to wake up 20 minutes earlier to go get them food.
Yeah.
But like,
I'll try to be better.
I feel like you can't, like, procrastination is like,
it's everywhere. It's in everything.
Like, everybody procrastinates. Like,
yeah. No matter how hard you try, it still happens.
Like, I'm a big procrastinator when it comes to, like, making food for myself. Like, I won't make food for myself until I feel like I'm going to pass out and die. Like, I'm shaking. Like, The other day, I was sitting, I had a work meeting, I had my coffee, and I'm sitting there, and I'm watching my show, and I got up, and I'm like, oh, like, I'm kind of shaky, it's probably just the coffee. I go on for like 30 more minutes, and I'm like, I literally looked at Nico, and I was like, I think I'm hungry. And he was like, okay, go make yourself food. I'm in the kitchen, and my knees are shaking. That's how, like, jittery and shaky I was. I was like, see, if I made myself food maybe 30 minutes earlier, I wouldn't feel like this. And I felt like shit the rest of the day. That's procrastination. Procrastinating on feeding
I don't even know how to react to that right now.
Like, I swear to God, it was so weird. I was like, what the fuck?
And it's so weird because, like, I would have never, like, thought of that as, like, procrastination, but it is.
Procrastinating. I'm procrastinating on feeding myself.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, I've never thought of it like that, but it really
It's like, I'm too lazy to get up now, so I'm gonna just sit here until I feel like I'm, like, gonna pass out and shaky and everything.
Like, it really is, like, with everything.
Yeah.
It's everywhere, and it's in everything.
It is.
Cray.
Forgetting deadlines, forgetting things, like...
Yeah.
Like, you forget, say you're in college, you forget a paper is due, you just self-sabotage yourself.
Did you not feed yourself?
My belly's growing, I know. No, I did.
She is self-sabotaging again.
My belly, I don't know. You should have heard my stomach in jury duty yesterday. It was so loud in the quiet-ass court, and I'm like sitting there, and I'm like, oh my God.
No, I do this a lot. Like, I really need to just put, like, my bills on, like, auto pay. So, like, I don't forget. Because I have so many, and I just don't remember to, like, do them. I mean, it doesn't really matter if I miss it by, like, a day, which is so bad. You shouldn't miss it by a day. But, like...
That's how I was, too.
It's not the end of the world. Shit happens.
Shit happens, yeah. But then, like, it's like, when it comes to important things, like, I'll forget shit. And I'm like, oh, fuck. I was supposed to do this.
Yeah.
Or, oh, fuck. Now I have to rush and do this whole fucking document. And I'm screwed now because I didn't ask questions, or I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, but it's due today. Now I'm going to ask, and it looks like I'm not responsible enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like forgetting things and being late, like, is one-on-one with each other. Like, I feel like, why, like, you're just, like, showing, like, being late to class. Like, you're self-sabotaging yourself because
the professor's already not going to like you.
You don't know what the class is going to be about for that day.
Yeah.
Or doing homework. Like,
or you could have missed, like, an important announcement, and then you're not going to realize it, and then you're going to self-sabotage into that.
Yeah. Self-sabotage is everywhere, and we don't realize we do it all the time.
Yeah.
And I feel like...
Because I never thought of half of that, like, as self-sabotage.
Until we just talked about it, I know.
Yeah, and I probably have, like, a really puzzled look on my face, but, like, because I'm really thinking hard about it.
You do! You're like this the whole time.
Like, my wheels are turning. Like, I'm thinking.
Wow! Marissa's spitting some facts right now.
I was thinking really hard.
You were really amazed about the procrastination, like, me self-sabotaging myself, like, to, like, basically pass out because I didn't feed myself on time.
Yeah, because, like, my brain doesn't go that deep. My brain's a very hollow pit of nothing.
Really?
I'm just thinking.
But also, so, like, tying into vulnerability, those two, like, very much correlate, because I feel like when you're very vulnerable, I feel like you tend to self-sabotage yourself a little bit more. So I feel like that's why we kind of put these two topics hand in hand together with each other.
But then, like, also I feel like people are afraid to be vulnerable.
Yes.
Because it's, like, looked down upon, I guess.
Yes.
You could say, like, oh, you're weak. Like, you aren't strong. Like, why are you so emotional?
So I wrote in, like, our little thing, like, basically, like, what vulnerability is defined as, because, like, some people, like, don't know, like, the actual definition, and it's kind of hard because people are like, oh, you're vulnerable, like, you're weak, like, all that stuff. But it basically is the characteristics determined by physical, social, and economic and environmental factors or processes which increase the sustainability of an individual, a community, assets, or systems to the impacts of hazards. So it basically, like, it's literally, like, everything.
Yeah, like, property can be
vulnerable. Yeah. Like, just a building structure could be vulnerable because they're, like, not as, like, strong or sturdy. Like, a community could be vulnerable because maybe there's a lot more poverty in that
We're
community.
being so smart this episode. I'm so proud of us. We sound so studious. I feel like I need some glasses like you. Do I look studious?
Not with those glasses. Maybe we should put Buddha right here. Maybe that'll make us even more studious.
He's a little scary.
Doesn't Buddha have a dead spider on it? Or there's a dead spider
No,
underneath.
just some dust.
Some cobwebs. I see at the top.
It gives him personality.
But, so, like, social factors. So, like I said, like, poverty, inequality, social exclusion, like, social status, psychological factors. So, like, say, like, social factors. I mean, I just said that. So, like, poverty. Basically,
this is gonna sound like, I mean, not weird, but, like, if you don't have money and, like, you have to pay this bill, that bill, and this bill, but, like, you physically can't, like, it's gonna put you in an emotional state.
Yeah.
And it's gonna, like, make you go crazy, and you're gonna be vulnerable because you're like, I know I have to do this, but, like, I literally can't.
Yeah.
And, like, at that point, like, your hands are tied. There's nothing you can do.
And, like, also, too, like, even just, like, a community as a whole, like, they just know, like, their kids aren't getting the best education, like, things aren't the best there, and, like, it's vulnerable to live there, like, because, like, they don't know what's gonna happen. They don't know if, like, a shooting or, like, something, like, bad could happen to them, like, or, like, a hurricane hit the town, and they just don't have the resources to build back that town, the houses, and all that stuff, and it makes people
like, how
really
long did it take, like, where Hurricane Katrina hit to,
New
like,
Orleans,
get back to, like, where it was?
Yeah, it took a while.
And I still feel like it'll never be back to, like, what it was.
No. And, like, social exclusion, like, social, like, classes. Like, you got rich, you got middle class, and then you got poor. And I feel like with that, like, you live in a well-off town, but you guys aren't very well off like that.
Yeah.
Makes you vulnerable. Your kids definitely vulnerable because, like, you have to dish out money that you really don't have just for your kids to do certain things or you to do certain things just to fit into that social exclusion. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is, like, tough, like, on a person.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's, like, the same as, like, a social status as well. Relationship vulnerability. I think this is, like, a big one. I touched a lot on this because I feel like relationship vulnerability is, like, what people talk about vulnerability about. It's, like, during a relationship, whether it's, like, a friendship, like, or a relationship. But, like, in a way, being vulnerable with your partner, with your friend, or anybody, even just, like, your family members, it can strengthen your relationship, and it can, like, help build trust, intimacy, obviously, if it's your boyfriend or girlfriend, and closeness. Like, just being vulnerable and just, like, talking and, like, telling the other person how you feel could open up a lot more doors than what you think. And I know it's, like, people, like, don't be vulnerable, like, who likes a person who's vulnerable? But in the end, like, being vulnerable can actually...
I know I fucking suck at being vulnerable. And I'm gonna be the first one to admit it. Like,
you do suck at being vulnerable.
I don't open up for nothing.
Yeah.
Unless, like, I, like...
have to.
Yeah.
Or, like, you're about to explode, I feel like.
Yeah, like, I literally don't. Like, you will not hear me talk about the way I feel. You will not, like, hear me... I kind of just express the way I feel. Like, I just won't, and, like, I'll just keep it inside and just not say anything. Or, like, if something's bothering me, like, I just, like, will let it be and I won't say anything, which is really bad.
Yeah. And I feel like I'm not in that way too, but I've kind of learned to be a little bit more vulnerable with my feelings because, like, I know I get annoyed when my boyfriend is always like, what's wrong? And I'm just like, nothing. Mm-hmm. And, like, this happened the other day and I, like, freaked out on him.
Yeah.
Because I personally just didn't want to say, hey, this is wrong. Like, can we talk about it? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel that.
So,
I feel like how I am. I just don't say anything.
You just sounded so fucking monotoned. It was crazy. Yeah, that's how I am. I need to change.
Speaking about, like, monotone and vulnerability, you didn't watch Dancing with the Stars last night, did you? Okay, well, Anna Delvey was last.
I saw her dance, and she looked like she didn't, like, move.
So, like...
Her face was like this the whole time, wasn't it?
Well, that's what I'm getting into. Let me finish.
Okay.
So, like... So they obviously, I think they purposely put her last because she's been the most talked about so far, like leading up to the premiere last night. So they put her last, and her partner of the season, so the pro, it's his first season as a pro.
Ezra.
Yes.
See, I know that.
So, like, they showed the package, they did their dance, and like you just said, she was very, like, straight faced, like, no emotion, like, very serious. So, like, and afterwards, the one judge, Carrie Ann, who was the first one to go, apparently, like, which obviously, like, it's hard for her to be, like, for Anna to be vulnerable because there's been nothing but negative spotlight, like, around her.
But I also think that's just, like, her face. Yeah, like, she's just, like, a very monotoned, like... So,
like, the one judge, I guess, like, because obviously the whole, like, audience was, like, cheering on everybody else, but when it got to her, apparently the audience went, like, silent. And, like, nobody was cheering for her. Nobody was nothing. So, like, when the one judge went on, she was like, I just want to, like... I mean, these weren't her exact words. She's like, I just want to say, like, there's no reason why there was, like, a shift of energy within the ballroom. Like, I don't agree or disagree with what she did and what her past is. But, like, she's here right now trying and, like, being vulnerable. Like, give it a chance. Yeah. Like, don't, like, shut her down for trying to be vulnerable and, like, trying to open up.
Yeah. What did they end up scoring?
I think all 7s. So they're, like, in the middle of the pack. But here's the thing, like, I don't think she's going to go far because everybody's shit-talking her and trash-talking her.
I saw something on TikTok that basically the only reason why she might go far is because of Ezra and him being, like, how upbeat he is and everything like that, and, like, him being a first-time pro. So, like, I feel like that might be the reason why he goes, like, middle-ish.
Yeah, but I mean, like, it has to be hard, like...
But I also don't think she gives a shit.
I don't know, I feel like that's where I disagree. Because I feel like she has to wear that mask and, like, not show emotion and be stone cold because she's getting so much hate. And, like, she doesn't want to open up and, like, do this and do that and be vulnerable.
Have you ever watched the show?
Yeah, I just watched it.
Does her voice really sound like that?
Not as, like, nasally as they made it.
It's so fucking annoying. I like the show with that.
But she does talk very, like, monotone, but I don't know. Which, I mean, I don't know, that kind of tied in.
I do, like, feel bad for her, too. But, like, also, like, I feel like Dancing with the Stars kind of knew what they were doing with...
I honestly think they did it to get more views. Because everyone was curious.
That's smart marketing.
Yeah.
That was very smart marketing.
I don't know, sorry, that was really off track.
No, it wasn't. It was basically still, like, vulnerable, you know what I mean? Building trust. I feel like when it comes to, like, being vulnerable, like, it's, like, a key part of, like, human connection and, like, can help, like, increase your trust with somebody, like, just being vulnerable and, like,
being
communicating.
Open and being honest.
And I feel like also, like, just communicating, like, can just help you be vulnerable. Like, I know it's easier said than done. And, like, nobody wants to be like, oh, I was, like, super vulnerable.
Yeah.
Like, and, like, you don't want to take back those feelings because some people might make you want to take back those feelings when you do become vulnerable. You know what I mean?
But I get that. It makes sense. It makes sense. Sorry, I just did not speak English.
No, you didn't. Intimacy. I feel like being vulnerable with your partner can help, like, build intimacy. Can lead to lasting, like, more, like, healthy relationships.
Yeah, because it's the same thing. Because you're growing connection with them. Like, they understand you and, understand, like, them.
Like, this is gonna be a little bedroom talk. Like, I feel like when you...
I didn't sign up for this.
Do you know who I am? I feel like... Shut the fuck up. I feel like when you're more vulnerable... Look, my mom's calling me. Should I answer it?
Marissa!
Ready? I'm gonna answer it. Hello?
Hi.
Hi, you're on the podcast.
Oh, what?
But anyway, I feel like it could... Back to, like, intimacy. It could lead to, like, better things in the bedroom. I'm gonna keep it like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Harley hates when I talk about this stuff. She gets so uncomfy. It's so funny.
On to the next.
Strengths.
Huh?
Strengthens.
Oh,
Like just relationships
yeah.
between different people that you're vulnerable with. I feel like it just like
Yeah, I feel
strengthens
like
it.
they're all linked. It just like builds like trust if you communicate and like if you are open and vulnerable.
It also can like helps you just generally work through your emotions, like just being vulnerable.
100%.
Like
you know how to like
handle
them.
itself. Like you could like it's more easy to acknowledge those emotions.
Yeah.
So like when you're like more vulnerable, like like, oh, I'm feeling like this, let me like talk to somebody, like let me tell somebody how I feel, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I also feel like it's really weird, like it could like reduce anxiety, contrary like to popular belief, because like you don't have all that built up like emotions running through you and you don't express them.
I get that. That does make sense.
Right?
Yeah. And on to our questions we go.
All right.
Also, y'all are letting us down. Ask us questions.
She just used y'all. Y'all are letting us down.
Like, just ask us questions. You don't even have to say your name. It can be something dumb, like, do you like mac and cheese? Like, I don't care.
No, literally.
Just ask us a question.
Ask us a fucking question.
You don't even have to put your name. Like, we don't care.
Yeah. All right. This question. Okay. This question's from Emily. Advice going into podcasting.
I would say just be consistent.
And like find your niche. Your niche.
Yeah.
Whatever it's, I don't know how to say the word.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess like ours is like based off of like, I guess like self-improvement, you could say.
And like different things too, because there's like so many other things like we have on this list, like our hot topics that like could be completely different.
And like also like going off of obviously like I just said be consistent, but I feel like also like making your social media platforms like look nice.
Yes.
And like matching. Like we have like a color scheme we have like going on. So like all of our posts pretty much match that. So when like you go on our Instagram, like it's cohesive.
Yeah.
But I mean that's, and honestly, like I would say just like be you. Like
Harley had her mind blown today by us. By me.
And like I feel like I said in the beginning,
it's like a learning experience
and, like,
too, because like obviously like we look up like not look but like what we're talking about, like we want to be like we want to feel educated, like talking to you guys about this stuff and not just like run in circles. And I feel like today like we didn't run around in circles as much as we normally do.
And like I feel like I kind of mentioned earlier, like we're getting more comfortable.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, we're kind of just like, at first you can tell we sat up nice, prim and proper, and
I'm
just like talk to the camera, but like now
I'm lounging. I look like a hot mess all the time. I don't give a fuck.
Like now we're kind of just like doing us and like just being us.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's a big thing too. Like don't try to put on like an act.
No.
Like just be you, and like I feel like that will attract the audience you want and will actually like attract a good audience.
Agreed. Excuse me.
No, I feel like that would be my... We're still very new, so... Yeah. But that would be my advice, I would say.
Why did you want to start a podcast? This is from Sienna. I feel like we answered this one, though.
No, I think we just kind of talked about it, like, in the intro. I mean, there was really no, like, exact reason behind it.
We were drunk in Philly, and we're like, let's start a podcast.
Yeah.
And we did.
That was literally the reasoning.
That literally is how
like, there wasn't no, like, because of this, we're going to do a podcast. It was kind of just like, we're just going to do it, and we're going to
see where it goes.
But I feel like that's, like, how the best things come about.
Yeah.
Is, like, when you're not, like, pre-planning and, like,
it's just
trying so hard for it. Like, this all kind of just like fell in, and it kind of just all like fell in place.
Yeah, it did really. It fell perfectly in place, I feel like. So that's definitely why.
So this PR is kind of special this week because we now have a partnership with
Somebody
this
sent us a
company.
dog. No, I'm kidding.
No.
Because
I
you
wish.
said special and I
No
just
dog.
thought dog.
But no, we now have a partnership with this company for the next few months, which is very exciting because we love supporting small businesses.
It is called Cookies and Cream Cosmetics.
Yep.
And they sent us a, what was it?
M&M cookie butter.
Which is like...
Just like any, like it's a normal, like, not normal because it's not normal. But it's...
normal, but not normal.
No, like, I wish, like, it's just like,
Look,
it's like a body butter.
it's cutesy.
It's really cute.
It smells like cookie dough. Like it smells like an M&M cookie.
My favorite thing is the spatula on the side to put it on with. Oh, that's what it's for.
What did you think it was for?
Like decoration, because like baking.
I love you with my whole heart, but damn, you are blonde.
Yeah. But no, that's our PR.
It's on the spatula. I didn't put it.
And it also smells really good. I don't know if you already said that.
I did. It says, I said it smells like, I almost just like went to lick it.
That actually would have been really funny.
It smells like you could eat it. That's why I almost just licked the spatula.
But yeah, I think that is a wrap on episode number 7.
Make sure you follow us on all social media platforms. We will be doing a giveaway soon.
Yeah.
Around the holidays, so.
And it's going to be a big one. So you're not going to want to miss it.
She was very aggressive with that one. Alright, I think that's the cue to end this. Love y'all.
Love you.
And who even knew blondes had thoughts? See ya.